Welcome, Aries. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot getting ready to do a reading for you. I'm using oracle cards and tarot cards, and welcome all of you that are new and returning. Thank you for being here. From the the Crystal Spirits Oracle, I pulled the Diamond. The diamond is number 20, which also talks about the judgment card. So I feel that you have reached some clarity, the diamond, about your purpose, your significance in the world, the contribution that you're here to make. This represents, because of the way diamonds are formed, they're formed in the Earth's mantle. They can also be formed in a lab, and apparently when an asteroid hits the Earth, collides with the Earth, diamonds are formed as a result of that. I don't know how that occurs. But what it symbolically is pointing to is how time and pressure can create something beautiful out of something very ordinary, very strong, precious. We know that diamonds can do a number of things relative to other metals that no other metal can do. We know that it takes millennia in some cases to form diamonds. So this is talking about those aspects of yourself, hardships, obstacles, things about yourself you are ashamed of, you think are ugly, you don't feel good about, that you have patiently transformed over a life, over many lessons, over many difficulties, into a recognition that you are, in fact, not only strong and beautiful, but you are a vehicle of light. And from the wild unknown archetype, I pulled the shadow. And this is really amplifying the idea that there is an aspect of yourself that you have not been pleased with, you have been uncomfortable with, you have been embarrassed or felt made you plain, ordinary, in a way that you are growing into a sense of recognizing that the shadow you cast is in part a result of your being very close to the light. So it's interesting, these two cards together, light and dark, are speaking about the way in which you have come to mature into your recognition of how much you've grown, how far you've come on your path, and your ability to still connect to that part of you that you have transformed, that you have recognized was the core or one side of a quality that you are now channeling through light, through your truth, through your experience and growth. There's definitely an ability to facilitate a lot of information, to disseminate a lot of information from the current social times we're in. In the present, the Six of Staffs is talking about the many good works that you do, the many ways that you work within community, within collective, within your relationships, to step up to your responsibilities and obligations, to do your part, to recognize that you are one of many among peers, colleagues, co-creators, doing and contributing your part to an effort. In fact, you're doing that so successfully that you are receiving the recognition of those peers or colleagues in a way that is more meaningful to you than the sense of ego gratification that you may have achieved in the past. So, in the past, your achievements, even in collectivity or as part of a team or a community, may have made you feel uh, more accomplished, more successful, more important than others among who you were as the most critical piece. But your maturation, your ability to overcome obstacles has instead turned your attention to those that appreciate you from within your circle, from within your team. So this is a big maturation because I feel that you are teaching yourself uh, the right use of your power. And that really goes back to the diamond, how something is created over time, the tremendous pressures of having to overcome difficulties and obstacles has actually honed you into appreciating your context, your community, not just your efforts, but the efforts of those around you, including an environment that can be hostile, but among whom you found allies and are about creating something that is uh, bringing more light, bringing more opportunity, bringing a sense of connection, being inspired to contribute something that will help others. In the past, the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Jades in this deck, is about a doorway to opportunity. This is the portal by which you are achieving some kind of stability or security in your life. I do feel like this is about a very specific project or achievement that you have identified more recently as you've come to greater clarity about your role, the opportunity you have with the power that resides within you. So this is, again, reinforcing this right use of power to build something that others can participate in, that collectivity is a requirement in order to activate and construct this power in the most beneficial way. It feels as though you're building some alternative world or opportunity for others. And in the future, the Devil card. This is about you recognizing that there are other choices you can make. This is you perhaps being tempted by the opportunity for more wealth or power or uh, more control in a situation that doesn't necessarily require your control except as a form of manipulation. So this is telling me that you've overcome a long social history of codependency, and that may be the result of some kind of addiction that has existed in your life in one way or another. And this can take so many forms in our very materialistic capitalist society. But you are now recognizing that uh, you don't have to control others in the way that you once needed to control others to survive. And this can often look like a family that is in some kind of substance abuse crisis and the necessity for one member or another to take on responsibilities so that they can get the love, the nourishment, the attention that they need to survive. And those patterns become psychologically ingrained in us, as I'm sure many of you are aware. So the idea of being in relationship, accepting those you're in relationship with, and allowing relationship not to be a top-down hierarchy in which you determine the best use of energy, but where you are working in tandem with others who are aligned with you. This is telling me that you are looking at a way that you might reinforce a codependency in your particular, your current practice or effort. That something you're building could easily be an opportunity for you to assert your authority and determine the way forward. And in that case, I believe you would shift this opportunity for others. It becomes a way for you to make a contribution and less about an opportunity for others to make a contribution on their own terms. So there's a sense that you know the way this needs to go, and you may be tempted to reinforce that. This does not necessarily mean that that's the case. This can also be the case if someone else tries to assert a kind of authority and determination about the way something should progress. It's something that you are quite possibly, you're not against in principle, but you're against the manipulation of another in creating a solution to a problem that you may see as far more open-ended, far more available to for its solution to emerge through the combined efforts of you and others. I'm going to pull 3 tarot cards to clarify, and I pull the Ace of Earth. Wow, that's kind of nice. I love those difference. The 5 of Water and the Page of Fire. Okay. So yeah, there feels like a lot of sadness that is been something that you have experienced, perhaps some evidence of some decisions you made in the past, particularly around relationships, failures, disappointments that have still you carry a lot of sadness around that. There may actually be regret on your part about decisions you've made in the past. There's definitely a sense that or a recognition that you gave your power away in the past in a way that may be prompting you to take power back in a similar dynamic. However, for most of you, you are really turning away from what you may have experienced of failed relationships towards this relationship with self, this ability to face self in view of the light that is available to you. The Ace of Earths talks about, again, you are in the middle of, there's 2 cards here, the Ace of Earth and the Page of Fire. Interesting, because there's a Page of Fire here. Then that's the Knight of Fire, the Knight of Wands. These cards are always a little challenging. The Knight of Wands and the Ace of Earth talks about you're moving actively towards this goal or this new opportunity for practical stability as part of a community effort. You see yourself as not being independent in this way. Your efforts may inspire others, absolutely. They quite likely do, but you recognize that this project, this opportunity belongs to the community, your team, co-creators, the collaboration that you are implementing in your life. This is deeply embedded in not only your community, but your relationships with all members in that community. And you recognize this as a new opportunity, a new version of yourself, perhaps one that you dreamed about in the past, but were unable to materialize, or that has failed often. And it does feel like this is around practical concerns, building wealth, building some kind of security or safety net for yourself. In the future, the devil is clarified by the page of fire. So this is the page of wands, of course, and this is really about you're coming to a new experience of your gift, your self-knowledge, a new sense of trust in the universe in a way that may not have existed, certainly didn't exist in your past, may not have existed in your family of origin, but that you are facing habits and patterns within yourself from this perspective of allowing again the solutions to emerge in community with others. This is not a burden you have to take control of or responsibility for on your own. This is stepping back from being the boss, and that is deeply transformational for you as an Aries. That being the boss, being the pioneer is not the point here. Bringing those talents of being the boss, being a pioneer, being courageous and unafraid is necessary, but not to steer things in the direction you think they should go, but to work with the community in order to collectively support a solution that will benefit everyone. And this may seem quite subtle, but I do believe for many of you, you're on a very exalted path of learning and growing. This is something that is you've been working at for a very long time, this deeper understanding of the possibilities that exist in practical terms for your community, your family, your collaborators. An opportunity for you to contribute something that was unexpected, perhaps, in your life. You may have felt settled, set, that you were on the best path for you, and opportunities continue to emerge for you to take your wisdom and knowledge that you've accumulated to a place that benefits more and more people, that engages more and more of your relationships at a deeper level. This is representing some tremendous healing on your part. And I'm going to pull a crystal spirit oracle. And I pull the orange calcite, and I will read very briefly from the guidebook because I don't know the crystals in this way, but I'm just going to read the meditation. Orange calcite is a firestone that fuels the second, the sacral, and the third, the solar plexus chakras. Unlike many firestones, it has a gently stimulating rather than overwhelming energy. It's excellent for overcoming shyness as well as depression. Meditate with orange calcite when you need courage. I love this. This feels like the courage to face your old self and to stand up in this more open, more invested in your heart's desires and your creativity, to allow the horizon to meet you. Thank you so much, Aries, for this reading. Until next time, namaste.